Hello, happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays. I appreciate you coming to spend some of your holiday with me. Tonight, we have a very special show. I want you to stay tuned until the end. We have a very special show for you all. Tonight, today is going to be our season finale. We will start again in January. So I just want to take the time to say thank you to all of my subscribers and the people who have supported this show. Next year, we have a whole lot more in store for you. We appreciate your support. For some of you who are new to the channel, I recommend that you take the time and you look at the Tyson Gay. We did an interview 2 weeks ago with young Christopher Taylor. Magnificent interview. You want to watch that. If you miss anything, you also want to look at Akeem Bloomfield. You want to go through all the 2021 videos. And again, we are truly grateful. We are happy that we have your support, and we will continue to provide good content. So we can't do this without you. Today, we have a very special man in studio. And this is a man, in my personal opinion, I feel, have not received the adequate recognition for what he has done. He has done great things in terms of sprinting for the USFA. He is Olympic champion. He's world silver medalist. And he has done great things. He has done it consistently. So tonight, we're going to talk with him, and then we're going to go into the special. I am looking forward to the special. But a man like Benard, he really don't warrant an introduction, but we're going to do it anyway, because when you come on Let's Talk with Dr. Greg, it's not about me, it's about you. So I put together an introduction for Benard. I want you to look at it, and then we're going to bring him on stage, and then we're going to go straight into the interview. Let's go. A man on a mission. An athlete who made it absolutely clear that his deepest aspirations was to win as many Olympics and world-class medals as he could. For Benard, the sky was the limit. In 1999 Winnipeg, Canada, as a sophomore in college, Benard won his first individual Pan American Games title for the United States of America. With such magnificent performance, Benard committed to himself that someday he would become one of the greats in sprinting for the United States of America. In 2000, Benard won the NCAA 100-meter title, beating an impressive field and sending a strong message to the world that he will be difficult to beat. Again in 2000, the Sydney Olympic Games, Benard won his first Olympic gold medal as a part of the United States of America sprint relay team. In 2001, Williams' hard work paid off when he won his first 100-meter silver medal for America at the World Athletic Championship in Edmonton, Canada. In 2001 and 2003, with talent, guts, and determination, Benard won the USA 100-meter title. And in 2003, Williams ran an impressive 20.01 seconds to be considered one of the fastest men in the 200-meter that year. In 2003, Williams also won gold in the sprint relay in the Paris, France World Championship. In 2004, at the height of his career, Williams won his first Olympic silver medal in the 200 meters behind Olympic champion and world number one, Sean Crawford. Despite the many challenges he has faced, Williams is committed to sharing his knowledge and his experience to help developing athletes find their purpose in life. Therefore, it is with great pleasure that I welcome to the stage Olympic champion, world champion, and Pan American champion, Benard Williams. Hello, Benard. How are you?
Man, I'm fantastic. I was blown away. It looked like I was looking at someone else.
Hey, long overdue. You should have been on Let's Talk with Dr. Greg a long time ago.
Man, thank you, brother.
It's a
Thank you,
pleasure
doctor.
to have you on the show. But as I said, when you come on Let's Talk with Dr. Greg, it's not about me. It's about you. So tonight, we're going to take the time to get to know more about who Benard Williams is. But it is custom on this platform, Benard, that before the actual interview starts, so a guest gets a chance to shout out to whomever they please, or they may promote any venture of their choice. Is there anyone you would like to acknowledge before we actually go into the interview?
Yeah. Before we go into the interview, I'd just like to say rest in peace to Coach John Tabor. Rest in peace to Coach Walter Cole. And rest in peace to Coach Eric Howard. Without these three men in my life, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. So before I get that out there, I would send that, and then we can get into the interview.
Well, I always say, Benard, that without good mentors and men in our lives, it's hard for us to achieve our highest potential. So my condolences and much respect for you taking your time to send a shout out to people who have been influential in your life. You are from Baltimore, Maryland, right?
Yes, sir.
How many siblings do you have?
0 that I know of. I'm not blaming anything on my father. I'm not saying my father, Papa was a Rolling Stone. No, rest in peace to my father. But as far as I know, I have no siblings, just me.
So in terms of the strong pedigree, are you the only person in your family that actually took up track and field?
Well, my grandfather took up track and field. He was in the service, Benard Roland Williams Sr. And he didn't take it serious, but he had a chance to actually run in the Penn relays when he served, and he was really fast. So it would be my grandfather, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. I am trying to establish some context and some background. So I want my subscribers to get to know you a little better, and I want some of your own fans to get to know you a little better. Were you raised by both parents, or were you raised in a single family household?
I was raised in a single family household, but on the weekends, I was able to see my father and my grandparents. So even though I was raised in my mom's house, I always got a chance to see my father and my grandparents.
Okay. I asked you that question because sometimes, even in myself, that we could, well, I think I could achieve a whole lot more if I had that solid foundation early. I didn't have that solid foundation. So, things were a little tough for me. I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. Let me tell you that it was not easy, none at all. Tell us, what was life like for you growing up in Baltimore, Maryland?
You know, it was fun, but at the same time, I was, I guess you could say they would call it a broken household where you don't have the father present in the household. But for me, now that I look at it as a 43-year-old man, God made it where I had two houses to go to, and I had two Christmases. And I was able to know and see my father and my mother all the time. So even though society considered that being a broken household, God gave me pretty much both sides. And so I always felt incomplete. I didn't realize that, the household that I lived in was different until I got to college and learning about social dynamics with family.
Mm,
So from my translation today, I say I had a really fortunate household.
mm.
I had two Christmases all the time.
Sometimes that's good and it's bad because one parent sometimes spoil the child in a way because of favoritism. So I do understand. If I'm a child, I want to have the best of
Right.
both worlds. For me, growing up and having the talent to run fast, it was a gift for me. And consciously, I knew that track and field was my way out of poverty. Why did you decide to become a track runner, Bernard?
Well, track was a plan C for me. Some people have a plan A, plan B. Plan A didn't work. And if you know about goals and setting your sights on something, every single person on this earth, most people, they don't become what they want to be that first go round. And so for me, um, uh, I wanted to be a football star. I wanted to play football, and I played football when I was Pee Wee League from 8 to 10, and I found out I don't like to get hit. The more I get hit, the slower I get. It was weird. So I decided not to play football anymore. So plan B was to be a basketball star. And I tried out for the Southwestern basketball team, which is one of the best high school teams in the city, in the state back then. And I didn't make the team. I got cut because I was really fast, but I just couldn't control the ball or put the ball in the hoop.
Mm.
But I asked the coach after I got cut, I asked the coach, could I come back and just work on my game and maybe next year he'd put me on the team? He said, sure. So I go back to practice. People are like, why is he still here? And I worked really hard. It's just, cleaning up, doing defense, taking charges, rebounds. And so one day report cards came out. And I had grades, and some of the guys on the team did not have good grades and were unable to play. And that was the first time I made a um, a high school basketball team, and I got a jersey. And I didn't play much time. I was on the team. I got new shoes, and I made a team. But it let me know that through hard work, that I can actually get better and actually make a team with hard work. And so that's when I became, a basketball player. I just knew this is my shot. I'm going to try to get to the NBA and college. And somebody said, hey, man, you should go out for track because you're really fast. And I said, well, I guess so. And they said, well, there's girls out there. I said, okay, where do I sign up? So I signs up and I go out there in the first race, no training or nothing. Coach just stuck me in the track meet and said, hey, you're going to run the 4x4. And I said, okay, how do I do it? And then he said, look, you just act like the police is coming and you just get the baton and you run. Don't stop.
The
I said,
police.
okay, I got you. So I got the baton, no training, nothing. Everybody said, go. And I took off. I mean, I took off like I was running 100 meters, man. And I could just hear the crowd going, woo. I was like, yeah. And by the time I got around to the second 200, I was out of gas. I said, oh, shoot. And everybody started screaming like, run. And next thing you know, I just pretty much died out. I came home, had the stick off. And coach was like, son, I have never seen nobody run a 4x4. You are going to be great. And I quit. I quit right after the 4x4. I quit. And yeah, I quit and I started working jobs like at McDonald's, and I started working at the nursing home and retirement centers because I still wanted to have, my own money now that I'm a teenager. And then I said, okay, let me go back out for track again, but I don't want to run the 400. And so the coach said, all right, you can run, and I promise you, I won't put you in the 4x4 no more. I said, all right, great. So we had a deal that he did not throw me on the 4x4 and I would run track. And I ended up running, and I liked it. I lost a lot. I lost pretty much every race, but I was happy to actually run something and actually finish the race strong.
Mhm.
And so I transferred from Southwestern to Carver, where one of the state champions were, and there was a great coach there, and he coached Walter Cole, the one I was telling you about, rest in
Mm.
peace at Carver. And he said, son, you come over here, we'll make sure you get to the next level. We'll get you in college. I said, okay, let's do it. And once I got with him to speed it up, I won 10 state championships
Wow.
with him, along with our relay. And we had a great high school. Like, those were the only championships that we had got at some point. But those were
Mhm.
probably the last state championships we got. But because of Walter Cole helping me transfer, and I was learning how to do workouts where I had to learn how to breathe through intervals and things like that, and how to recover. Coach Cole really exposed me to, this is how you train to be the best. The first day he said, all right, we got 10 200s. I said, what? He said, you said you didn't want to run the 400, right? I said, yeah. He said, well, we got 200s. I said, oh, man. So basically, growing up in Baltimore, um, didn't like football, didn't like basketball. That's what drew me to track, and track was my plan C.
Mm. Well, that's a beautiful plan C because it worked out for you. After a very good career, 10 state championship, that's no joke. You receive scholarships, I would say scholarships, but you choose Barton Community College. But back then, George Mason, we were doing great things over there. Why Barton? Why not George Mason? Why not Georgetown? Why not University of Maryland? Why Barton?
To be honest with you, I wanted to go to the University of Tennessee, and I went to a recruiting trip there, and it was great. The coach there, I think his name was Vince Anderson. Coach Vince, he was so awesome, and I wanted to go there, but I was unfortunate, and I did not get the minimum requirement for the SAT, and as a result, I was unable, or it did not qualify me to go to any D1 or to go to Tennessee, the University of Tennessee. And so after that, it was either Wallace State, which was another junior college who had a lot of people who run world class times, or Barton County. Originally, I was looking at Blinn because I heard Blinn College, junior college, had a history of having world class athletes, and I wanted to go where there's a coach who could get me to the next level. Um, Now that I am not qualified for the universities, D1s, and so that was the main reason why I chose Barton. And Barton, the thing that got me to Barton was that all of their athletes graduated
Mm.
and have gone on, and so I'm looking at the history, and it was nothing but Jamaicans, just yeah, nothing but Jamaicans who had attended Barton and that went to universities. And not only did they win medals, they also had graduated.
Mhm.
And so I was like, well, that looks like where I want to go. And so that's why I chose Barton with Coach Lance Brahman.
What is it like training with those Jamaicans? Let the audience know because sometimes
Brother, yo, well, you know what? If you want to know what it's like to train with the Jamaicans, just look at Usain Bolt. Look at Shelly Ann Frazier. Look at Elaine Thompson. Um, Look at Man, there's so many. Merlin Adi, you know, so many champions. And I didn't realize that I was spoiled until I started running with my Jamaican friends. Because they, I would be like, man, I'm tired, I'm sore, and my Jamaican friends will let me know, like, man, you Americans are so spoiled. You got the best facilities, you'll have the best coaches. Yeah, that's my Jamaican accent. You have the best coaches, you have the best facilities. All you do is complain, complain. Ah, he said, you Americans are so spoiled, I tell you. And so that toughened me up.
Mm.
It toughened me up because I come from the same background. I didn't come from money. I come from Baltimore, Maryland. A
Yeah.
lot of violence, a lot of poverty. So here it is. I'm complaining about being sore. And my teammates are like, you guys have it. Y'all have the life. You have the perfect facilities, the coaches. Why are you complaining? And so that's what it was like training with my Jamaican brothers.
And I can relate to that too, because I usually push those around me. So I can see why you excel rapidly when you are at Barton. But being in a new environment, I'm sure you had higher expectations. But what were some of the challenges that you were faced with while at Barton? Because as you said before, we come from Jamaica,
Mhm.
Baltimore. We see some similarities there. But what were some of the challenges you were faced with while attending Barton Community College?
Well, transition from city life, excuse me, from the city life, being a city slicker or whatever, to just a rural area where there's no people out there, just dark roads. Um, you have to socialize and you have to get along with people and you have to learn to trust people. And so I was homesick a lot because, like I said, I grew up by myself with my mom. So I experienced a lot of homesickness. And every month I would talk to coach like, hey, I'm just ready to go home. And I didn't realize that a lot of people from where I am, they don't leave Baltimore because it's not comfortable. Regardless, it's home. And
Mhm.
so I literally quit probably about 3 times because I was homesick and I felt my mom need me. There was times where I was training. I would train, but I'd be like, man, I wonder what my mom is doing right now. I hope she can still pay the bills. Like, maybe if I just go back home because this stuff hurts so much. Maybe if I go back home and get a couple jobs, I'll be cool. That entered the mind. And so those were some of the challenges, along with hamstring pulls. Um, I got I had got fluid in my lungs and developed pleurisy. And then socially, as far as like dating girls and, you know, just just not focused. Like all of those things really were the challenges. Like as far as relationships, as far as school, I had to learn how to learn. I didn't know how to retain information and use certain techniques and treat school like track and field, meaning looking at your material every day. And so I had to learn how to learn so I can get to the next level, or actually so I could just excel because I didn't want to come all the way out to Kansas to just fail,
Mhm.
And so, yeah, into quitting, not wanting to fail, relationships, uh, yeah, there's multiple. Like where when you're young, you really think you're like, I love this girl, man. She could be my wife. And you're like, brother, what are you doing? You're here to get an education. You're here to get to the next level. Like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, all of those things were like my, where I had to overcome and to get past those things, barriers to get to my goals.
Mm. I'm happy you said that though, because a lot of times uh, people think that only a few people, at least per se, experience some of the things that you're talking about. And I find that that is the main thing that separates the good from the great, because the greats are able to look at these things, look at these distractions, push them to the side, and keep on moving forward. In 1999, you won the Pan American Games in Winnipeg, Canada. At this time, you were still attending the community college, Barton Community College. What did it take to develop into such a dominant athlete as young as you were, dealing with all these distractions?
Mm. It was one, I prayed a lot. I did a lot of praying and a lot of crying. I just want to get that out there. Second, I had an incredible man named John Tabor, and he was my friend. He was in his 40s at the time, rest in peace. And he was my friend. He was my best friend. And when you have someone that's your best friend that looks at you as a son, but he had so much knowledge. You know, he had a degree in engineering. He had a history of getting athletes ready for football. He was from Houston, Texas. And so he always knew what he was talking about, and I believed in him. And so when junior college was over, I went back home to train with him like I always did while I worked at the nursing home. And we would, train. He said, okay, we're getting ready. We got a shot. Because at the USA Championships, I placed seventh. And so I did not make the world championship team that year. And so we just trained, but they told me to fill out the paperwork and I could possibly be selected for the Pan Ams. So working with Coach John Tabor, not only that summer, I was able to bring knowledge and training back from Barton, but also to get back to my original high school coach, one of my high school coaches.
Mhm.
And through the blessings of God, he kept me in shape and gave me different things to do as far as resistance pulls and hills and things like that. And once we got to the Pan American Games, it was like, okay, this is my shot in front of the whole world. This is not the National Junior College Championships. It's not USA. This is an international meet, and everybody is your age. And so that's what really separated me. That summer, we dedicated ourselves to still training. Coach John Tabor got me through, and that's how I was
Mhm.
able to win that Pan American gold.
Mm. Well, I was at that meet. I won the 400 too. So,
I remember.
so, and one other thing I was looking at too is like I was always lucky in Canada. Is the same thing with you. We got good luck when we were in Canada, but it was good that you were able to bring your high school system into Barton as well, because sometimes that is something that we all need. But one would think that after Barton, maybe you would come back home, maybe to a George Mason or again, because you got the opportunity to leave Kansas, but you went to the University of Florida. Why the University of Florida?
I got to be honest with you. My first choice was UCLA with Coach John Smith, and there's a history behind that. When I first started running track, I saw this movie Higher Learning with Tyra Banks, uh, Omar Epps. No, yeah, Omar Epps and Ice Cube and Lawrence Fishburne. So when I saw this movie, it inspired me to run track, in college and to get a scholarship. And he was actually a real coach. And I saw him when he had coached Maurice Green and he had coached Otto Bolden, John Drummond, Dennis Mitchell. Like he had coached a lot of the greats that were American sprinters. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, that's where I'm going to go once I go to a university. So he can work with me the same way he worked with those two. And I follow the path and then I can be the next champion. Um, but he didn't answer the phone much because he was also a world class coach too, and that's understandable now that I look back at it. But back then, I was like, well, shoot, if he's not showing me any attention, I got to find the next coach who has a history of coaching world class athletes. And so my teammates were talking to me, Aaron Armstrong and Geno White and Stephen Jones, and they were like, "Yo, man, this guy Mouse, he's pretty good. He coached a couple people, like he coached Dennis Mitchell." We was like, "Yeah, but Dennis ain't never winning, so I don't know if I want to go there." So, you know, I called John Smith. We talked one time. He said he'd get back to me, and then for some reason, I wanted to be comfortable, and I wanted to be with my brothers from Barton. And we made a pact that we would stick together and that we would win championships together at a university, because we all worked in the weight room and we all, you know, struggled in junior college. No full scholarships were given that we know of. No, you know. And so we made a pact to go to the University of Florida. And then that year, what really got it was that year he had coached an athlete named John Capel, who had went 19-8 or 19-9 as a
Yeah, I
freshman.
remember.
And so I was like, you know what? I want to run with that guy right there, John Capel. He's 19-9. I got you guys going, you know, 20. I got the fastest guys around me. Let's do it. And so that is the reason why. And in the Mouse, he came, Coach Mike Holloway, who's another one. He come to my mom's house on a recruiting trip, and my mom cooked him her best meal. I don't think I've seen a meal since like that. Sorry, Mom. But she cooked him a good meal, and he looked my mom in the face. He looked me in the face. He said, "Look, I'm going to make sure you get to the next level. You're going to win championships. But the University of Florida, we give scholarships for you to win the SECs.
Mm-hmm.
Not the NCAAs." He said the SECs was important. But he said,
Mm-hmm.
"I promise you, I will have you, you will be a medalist. You will be world class." And I was like, "All right, Mama." She said, "Well, you good?" I said, "Yeah." And so that was with my brothers coming with me from Barton, making it comfortable for
Mm-hmm.
somebody already running 19-9s and 10-0s already there. And with him, I said, I'm in a good situation to win some championships and to be the best. And that's why I went to Florida.
Well, it worked for you because a year later you won your first NCAA 100-meter title and you defeated a field, tough field, people like Sean Crawford, Kobe Miller, Terence Trammell, which were all champions in their own rights. But one funny thing happened though, because after the championship with 1 year left as a junior, you decided to go professional. At that point in your career, why did you choose to go pro then?
I was young and I just wanted to go for the fame, brother. I did, Doc. I was young. In the 100, it was right in Sacramento in 2000. It was after the fourth round of the 100, and I got seventh place again. So that's like 3 years in a row of competing for a USA team and not making it. And I saw John Smith. I saw him there, and a couple other athletes, world class. I'm not going to mention the name. And I just told him. I said, you know, I wanted to come there. And he said, "Okay, cool." And so when you lose, you're not really feeling good. I was not feeling good. I did not feel great. So they had me still fill out the paperwork, similar to the Pan American Games. And they said, "Hey, man, if you fill out your paperwork, there's a possibility that you can make the Olympic team." And I said, "Okay. All right, so where do I go?" So I filled out the paperwork so I can get registered to be on the team, because they had something called a relay pool, which has never been done before. They said they took the whole field who made the final, and then you can possibly, if you show fitness, you could possibly run around and win a medal. And so at that point, I talked to Mouse, Coach Mike Holloway, and I told him, I said, "Hey, they said I could make a team. I should fill out this paperwork." And Coach Mike Holloway had different plans. He was like, "No, you need to get ready for the 200. We can make this team. And you need to come back to school and you need to dominate next year so you can get millions." And I was like, this could be the only time, because it's the Olympics. The ultimate goal is the Olympics. A lot can happen in another 4 years. And so I literally dropped out of school, signed a Nike contract, and joined sprint group HSI, which was the same coach from the movie Higher Learning. So I'm not saying I was starstruck, but that was my dream.
Yeah,
It's
understand.
like, okay, now you're where you wanted to be. You took 2 years, you didn't finish, you didn't, qualify for the SAT. You had to wait 2 years. Now you're here. And so I dropped out of school, and that's when I dropped out my junior year,
Mm.
to,
Well,
to run on the relay.
I'm going to ask you this question because it right into what you just said in terms of being immature. Because we have a lot of young athletes today who think that it's an easy task just to go straight in the pros without knowing a whole lot. In hindsight, where most of us see 2020, you said that you weren't mentally ready, so to speak, because of immaturity. If you had to talk to a young athlete today who would go through the similar thing that you are going through, knowing what you know now as a previous professional athlete, what would you say to them before they make that decision to go pro, giving up everything, knowing the challenges that you had to face
Mm.
as a professional athlete, things that you didn't know you know now? What would you say to that person?
Oh, well, I would tell them to think it out first. Make sure that you have a place to live, that you have money saved. When you drop out of school, when I dropped out of school, I didn't know that the University of Florida had taken care of my plane ticket and my hotel. The minute I dropped out of school, they had to separate themselves from me because that's a violation. They didn't support that. So immediately, as soon as I dropped out, I was homeless at the USA Championships. My stuff had to be out of the dorm rooms. It's a big change in like it's real. It's real. Like you'll find out that you don't own anything but your belongings, and you better get them out of there before they be on the side. And so, what I would say to a lot of the young people, when you do jump, plan it out. Your decision is your decision, and I'm glad I made that decision. I don't regret that decision because it all worked out through the blessings of God. But plan it out a little better so your transition to be a little bit more smooth than mine.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
have some money so you can fly yourself home. I had to borrow money from my mom and my high school coach to fly myself back to Florida to get my belongings and make sure just make sure you have some money saved. Make sure you plan it out before you just jump the ship. Is what I
and,
would
and
say.
and this is real talk because a lot of athletes, really young athletes, don't know this. Agents won't share that information, and you sometimes will learn the hard way. So you relocate to California to train with your dream coach, John Smith, who also controlled the club HSI. There are pros and cons in every club environment, and some of the clubs do not encourage athletes to grow as he or she needs to. You know that. I want you to tell me in your own word, based on your experiences with this particular club, what did you learn that could help young athletes choose a club that can be greatly of benefit to them in the future?
Mm, man, that's deep. Okay. Well, what I learned was have to listen to people. When people are trying to tell you something, they're not always looking at you as competition. And so I looked at a lot of my teammates as competition when in fact a lot of them were good men and they were just trying to help me. When people are trying to help you and they're older than you, what I learned is you have to listen. When they're trying to tell you something, you have to listen. And I learned that just because you are a rookie, you do not accept certain things. You still hold on to your values and your morals. Um, I was in certain situations where when people are your manager or when people are comfortable with you, they just think they could eat off of your plate. And what I mean is literally they think they could just eat off of your plate. And I just remember smacking somebody's hand like fat because it was going for my chicken. I like my buffalo wings. And everybody looked at me and I said, hey man, I haven't even said my grace. You asked me, you know. And so there's certain values that you hold on to and you don't look back. Now, I'm not advocating that you hit people who come to take your wings. No, it's not what I'm saying. But everybody was okay with just everybody digging in their plate and eating their food.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there are certain values that you keep while you learn. Just because people are teaching you something, you don't have to take in everything. You know, if people try to make you carry bags, it's okay. You're a grown man. If you don't want to carry bags, that's fine. Don't carry the bags. Just know that you're not with the team. And when they play games. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of clubs play games and people play games, not just in track and field, but also in fraternities and many subcultures,
Mm-hmm.
if you will. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just encourage young kids, athletes, and even older ones, when you go to places, it's okay to conform, but you also have to hold on to your basic principles and values so
Yeah.
you can continue to make progress.
And that comes with experience, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And that is so true. It worked out for the most part at HSI because you won your first Olympic gold medal with the USA 4x1 relay team. In fact, all three of you guys were from HSI. And it was clear that you guys got lost in the moment of sweet victory, especially winning an Olympic gold medal. In your own words, Bernard, tell us, how did you feel winning your first Olympic gold medal? And did you think that the fans were a bit harsh in how they treated you guys in regards to your celebration?
To be honest with you, it was a dream come true. You would have thought I won the lottery. Like when we won, I was like, oh, the millions are coming. I'm going to buy my mom a new house. I'm going to get a big mansion. I'm going to be rich. You hear me? And I celebrated like that. However, the energy from the fans was so positive and they were just cheering us on that I, I didn't want to stop. And because of us, they now have a time limit on how long you take your victory lap. There were no rules that said that you're not allowed to stand in the crowd. You're not allowed to take your shoe and throw it in the stands. So the energy that I got was all positive. It was like we were rock stars, and they wanted more. They wanted more, and so it didn't hit me until we got to the interview. And one of the interviewers was like, "Do you think that you did nothing? Did you think that were acting appropriate?" And we was like, "Yeah, we got a gold medal, we won, and we're going home." You know, and the crowd loved it. And so then this is how media is. Then reporters started printing negative uh, things that they were this, they were that. This wasn't from the crowd. The energy I got from the crowd was totally different. I didn't get any boos. You know what I mean? Get out of here. You're doing too much. I didn't get that. If anything, they wanted us to come back out there. I was about to start breakdancing, but we had to go because they wanted us in the interview. So I didn't take it like anything. The way it happened is how it happened. It was great. And it was probably one of the best moments I've ever felt in my life. Kind of like Christmas, when you get a gift from someone or like your birthday. That's how it felt, like winning the lottery.
Well, if I had won my an Olympic gold medal my first time around, I would be celebrating like that too. So I understand where you're coming from with that. After 9 months of being with the club HSI, you made the decision to leave. Some were, well, when I saw you decided to do that, I too was a little bit concerned
Mm.
from the outside. What were some of the factors that led you to leave such an established and renowned club such as HSI, John Smith, um, Otto Bolin, Maurice Green?
Mm. Um, you know, I got into a real bad car accident. Not bad to the point where I had broke bones or anything, but I got into a car accident, and I called those guys, and they were all occupied, which is fine. And I got scared, man. I got scared, and so I didn't want to talk to them, um, and I didn't want anything. I just bounced because I just thought that just living in LA, just I almost killed myself. I got to get out of here. And so I really didn't communicate with them, and I just bounced.
Understand,
I
understand.
just I wasn't mature enough to really sit down. And they called me in for a meeting. They were very professional. We need to talk to you. And I was like, I really don't want to talk, man. I just think I need to go. And it was just a lot in my brain where I couldn't really um, explain to them what I was going through because it was personal. And then I just felt that they wasn't there for me. I was young, that they wasn't there for me to, pick me up from the hospital or anything like that. So I didn't think they cared about me.
Mm.
And so I just bounced.
Understand,
Yeah.
understand. Well, the closest home you had at the time, I assume, was Florida. So you relocated back to Florida, and many thought that your career would end, but you proved the doubters wrong. In 2001, you won your first World Championship silver medal in the 100 meter. How tough was it mentally, Bernard, dealing with the pressures of the naysayers? And how deep did you have to dig in regards to your dedication, your determination, and your commitment to your sporting event to get the type of results you got after leaving HSI?
You know, that's crazy. I left HSI. The car accident came right after that World Championships in '01. So I actually I apologize. I spent more than 9 months there. I spent about a year and some there. But I won the medal when I was still at HSI. And like a month or two after that, the car accident happened, and then I left.
Mm, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But leaving there, going to Florida, I'm sure there was some pressure on you in order to duplicate that performance because
Y-
I was on the circuit at the time and a lot of people were saying, why did Bernard leave? What is he going to do now? He's going to fail. So I'm sure you looking towards the 2002 season, you
Yeah.
felt a little pressure in terms of, I don't want to fail.
True. You're right. But the cool part was when I left, I I knew that they didn't have they had a USA championships, but they didn't have a world team. So I didn't feel any pressure of making a USA team.
Mm,
I could just kind of go out there and show that, hey, I can train myself, or I can, pay this coach halfway, through, and then do most of it on my own while I travel Europe on my own. And at the time, I was in a relationship. Not going to say a name because this is my interview, but I was in a relationship, and while I was in that relationship, we had a strong bond to keep each other fit, and we could still do this despite me not being at HSI. And so that helped me out a lot that year in 2002 because we had that pact, me and this young lady, well, she's not young anymore, but this this person that is what helped me in that 2002.
mm. That's good. That's good. Um, well, in 2004, you won your first individual Olympic silver medal in spectacular form where the US swept the event with Sean Crawford winning and Justin Gatlin finishing third. After all your sacrifice over the years, Bernard, describe that feeling you had after that accomplishment.
It was nice, but I felt like I was just happy to get a medal by myself, but I still felt like a loser. You know what I mean? Because the previous Olympic, I got gold. So this was like a downgrade for me. And there was a lot of events that happened leading up to that race. I think if they didn't shoot the gun and call us back with that energy, I think that was my race. Like I could have won it, but they booed us pretty much in Greece because their runner wasn't running. And so here it is. I'm like, oh shoot. The last Olympics I had some cheers, and now this is the total opposite. I had cheers in the end. Now I'm getting boos in the beginning. And
Mm,
so they were not happy. And before the gun, they had to wait for people to stop booing just so they could shoot the gun. If you ever
mm,
look at the race, you can still hear people making a lot of noise as the gun is going on. And so when I did come across in second, it was like a blessing, but at the same time I was like, man, it should have been nice to get that goal.
mm.
So it was
Understand,
what they call it, a bittersweet moment.
understand, understand. Well, the evidence show that you have been through a lot of ups, a lot of downs in your career. What would you say are the most important lessons you have learned on your journey?
Hmm. Is to keep making goals. Um, Keep working towards something. Once you accomplish one thing, if you get too relaxed, there will be nothing next.
True.
So what I've learned is that you have to continue to make goals in different areas, just like
Mm,
you make goals for education and for sports, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's comedy, entertainment, music, um, network marketing, whatever it is, you have to continue to make goals to push forward. Otherwise, there's no more success, in my opinion.
what would you say were your biggest regrets throughout your career?
Mm. My biggest regret would probably be some of my biggest regrets would be I don't know, maybe not appreciating certain moments, um, certain people that have passed away. I wish I could have had a better connection with all of those, like all of my coaches. I wanted to bring my high school coach in, Coach John Tabor, in to be my professional coach. But he had responsibilities like his family and his own career that he had. So, I just wish I could have brought him in more when he
Mm,
was here. And I wish I could have, just appreciate more of my time with them when they were here. Those are the things I regret.
yeah, I do understand that feeling. I must say, though, that I commend you for something that you did. After your track and field career, you went back to college to secure your bachelor degree. Congratulations are in order because a lot of athletes, when they leave early, they make the decision that it is just too hard. Tell us, why did you feel that you had to go back and accomplish your degree?
Um, my goal, I never liked school. To be honest, I never liked school. The only reason why I went to school was because my mama kicked me out the house in the morning and she wasn't playing that. Um, but I failed the third grade, what they call held back, and I failed the third grade not because I wasn't smart enough, but because I played too much. I love to make people laugh. Like that is my thing. And so because I made people laugh so much and didn't do any work, the teacher wanted to pass me. She said, "I'm sorry, Miss Williams, I want to pass him, but he just doesn't have anything for me to turn in." You know, and so when I failed the third grade, that hit me hard because all of my friends were now moving on, and I am around all these people who were younger than me, who I felt wasn't mature enough yet. Like it just felt like I was always behind. And so once I got in the and then I didn't make it, the SAT, the minimum requirement. So then that made me feel a little bit less smart. Um, and so then when I actually dropped out of school to get the medal, that was easy for me. It's easy because I don't like school anyway. So dropping out was easy for me. It was never a goal of mine. My mom said, "We need you to graduate. I don't have a degree. You need to graduate. You need to, and I just like, yeah, whatever. I'm making money now, in my
Understand.
mind. So it was never my goal to graduate. I just used college to get to my other goal, which was the gold medals and money and traveling the world and just kicking butt all over the world. That was my goal. My goal was never to graduate. And so I think I'm not going to give her any pride, but I met a woman who was a celebrity. She had her own show. And, I'm excited because she's from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. So, I was like, congratulations on your hit show in Hollywood. This is when I was at HSI. And she was like, yeah, did you finish school? And I said, yeah, I finished. She said, what do you mean you finished? I said, I finished. Like, I left school to get a gold medal. And you could probably hear from the impression who I'm talking about. That she was like, oh, no, baby, you didn't finish. You quit. Okay. You trying to tell me y'all bringing this dude up in here? No, you quit. You did not finish, boo boo. Don't bring that up in my house, okay? And so that really pissed me off because she was right. And immediately I enrolled into UCLA. This was in 2001. No, in 2000. And that's when my journey began to continue my education. And I took about 4 or 5 classes at UCLA and got them transferred over to Florida. So even when I went back to Florida, I would take maybe 2 classes a semester simply because I didn't like how she talked to me like that.
Mm.
And that motivated me. And I had friends who were on the campus that was like, hey, man, you've been on this campus training for 6 years and you're not going to graduate? And so that made me feel stupid because all of them were younger than me. And so I was just like, yeah, you're right. And then, my teammate from Barton and Florida, Stephen Jones, a lot of my friends were like, hey, man, we'll help you out. Don't be afraid. And I was like, all right, cool. And so a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I had run into motivated me to finish school. And that's how I got the degree from them
Well,
motivating me.
well, congratulations again. I wish more of those who leave early would do what you did. It's truly an
Thank you.
inspiration because I can tell you, I used to sit with people who gave up the scholarship just like you. And when we started to talk about degrees, they would get quiet. And you know that deep down, it was affecting them.
Hmm.
So, you know what I mean? It's something
Yes.
good. I definitely respect that. Bernard, I
Thank you.
appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate your time. We have a very special um, thing for the audience. So
Okay.
we're gonna close. Hey, if you want to stay around, you can stay around. But hey, we have something special for the audience this Christmas. I thank you for coming. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a few. We're gonna close. We're gonna give you. If you want to stay, well, we want you to stay. So it's a surprise for the audience. So we are going to take a break and then we're going to come back. So for you, for the viewers who are listening, watching, please don't go. We have something special for you tonight. You truly don't want to miss this. This is going to be a home run tonight. All right. We're gonna come back in a few minutes. See you guys later. Don't go anywhere. All right, let's
Don't go anywhere now, y'all.
Yes, don't go anywhere. We have something special. So, um, let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Well, give
what
it.
I got like.
Yes. So uh, let's go.
Oh, y'all heard that? Man, this is good. How y'all doing? All right. You are tuned in to the fastest man in comedy, Bernard Williams. That's right. I'm glad to be on here. Doctor, I appreciate you. Dr. Greg Haughton. Y'all have no idea. I've been watching that man run track, and now he is an established doctor. You know, there are a lot of doctors that are not really doctors, but they are well established. You got Dr. Dre, you know what I mean? Beats by Dre, got billions of dollars. You got Dr. J, you got Dr. Pepper. Okay, I know y'all not laughing out there, but I hear a couple of them. I hear a couple chuckles. But yeah, I am glad to be here and to perform in front of you with this mic I got. As you can see, this show is sponsored by Party City. We don't have any cords or anything on this mic, but it's good for entertainment. Now, uh, I've been watching a lot of news, a lot of current events, and I just got to say, Juicy Smoulier. I don't know if you are familiar with him, but he's the actor from The Empire. That's right, The Empire show where he faked his he faked a fake hate crime, and he hired two Africans to 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 assault him and put a rope around his neck, and now he's in court. I hope he just get probation because uh, he should not be doing that. You know, I, he got to at least hire some white folks. You know what I mean? You just can't. Can you imagine him just hiring two, black Africans, and you know the accent? You be like, this is from Mega. This is from Mega. This is Mega. No, you cannot just hire two black Africans and expect people to believe, or the police to believe, that that is who assaulted you. That, I'll tell you right now, whoever the police officer is that took that report should have never left the desk. He said, so what happened? Well, he doused me with bleach and threatened to burn me on fire. Bleach? Why didn't he use gasoline? Come on now. Only thing bleach do is mess up your outfit. That's about it. So I just hope that brother gets probation, and they don't send him to jail because they got much serious crimes going on in Chicago. So yeah, that's what's going on. I saw he was in court. Uh, I love music. That's my thing. Um, I don't know if y'all know about Jill Scott. Jill Scott is a soul singer, platinum artist. But now, Jill Scott, the thing I like about Jill Scott, she loves singing about food. You know, when she sing, it makes me hungry. It's whether it's Christmas time, Thanksgiving, I don't care. She said, "Do you want it on your collard greens? Do you want it on your black eyed peas? Do you want it on your?" She said, "Give it to me, give it to me." I'm like, "Oh, give it to me, give it to me, give it." I love Jill Scott. I'm trying to tell you, shoot, Jill Scott almost made me switch my insurance. She's on the Nationwide commercial. She said, "That's why it's nationwide. That's why it's nationwide. Nationwide is on your side." I was like, "Oh, Jill Scott, so soulful." So that's why I like watching Jill Scott, because she make me think about food. She's so soulful. Yeah. Now, being an Olympic medalist, you get a chance to travel the world. One of my favorite places to go to is Amsterdam. Everything is legal. I'll just leave it at that. But one day, me and my teammates, we said, "You know what? We're gonna go and see a live sex show." We said, "Okay, cool." So we go to this place and there's a live sex show. And as soon as I heard the music, I knew it was I knew something was up. Because as soon as I got in the place, it was like oots, 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 oots. I was like, oh, okay. This is nice. This is nice. So the guy comes out butt naked, starts doing this thing, looking right at me like oots, 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 oots. I said, ugh. I said, let me go back over to my home. Let me move over to the side. Maybe he's just looking in the crowd. So I walk over to the side. Sure enough, he's looking right at me. Oots, 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 oots. I said, let me go back to my teammates because I don't feel so safe. I went back to my teammates. He looked at me. Oots, 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 oots. I have not been to Amsterdam since. Okay? I have not been there since. But that's one of my favorite places to go. And then you get a chance to travel like to Asia. Asia is nice. Let me tell you, Asia got the best toilet seats. You hear me? If you go to Asia, I don't care. China, Osaka, Japan, they have these things called the butt warmers on the toilets. That's right. They got different buttons. They got one where it goes, ooh. Yeah, and then they got one it kind of like vibrates, like ooh, 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 ooh. Like you can check like the pace and everything. I was like, man, I ain't gonna lie. In Osaka, Japan, I sat on that toilet for about an hour. Ladies, I understand your bathroom time now. Ooh. Yeah, but you get a chance to travel a lot. One of my favorite places to eat though is in Croatia and Italy. Italy got the best food. Let me tell you. I was learning stuff in Italy. I don't even speak any other language, but I speak Italian when it comes to food. You hear me? They ask me, so what would you like? Because they speak English too. What would you like? I'm like, give me a filetto. And then they hit you with it, let you know they know. Oh, you want the beef? I'm like, oh yeah, I want beef. You're like, what else? I'm like, instead of let me get pesce. They're like, oh, you want some fish? I'm like, yeah, I want some fish. Now let me tell you, when you do travel as an Olympic medalist, I don't care what you say. People don't like when you ask them, do you speak English? I asked this young lady, no lie. I was at the airport. I said, excuse me, ma'am, do you speak English? She said, no. And I said, wait a minute. You just spoke English right there. She said, oh, that's all I know. I said, wait a minute. You just spoke English right there again. She said, look, that's all I know. Since you don't have the decency to try to at least learn 2 words from my country, I don't speak English. And I was like, oh man. And that was that was an eye opener for me. So, when you go over, don't be asking people, do you speak English? If they speak English, they'll speak it, just not to you. Like you go over there, you want to eat their food, you want to take their money, and then you can't learn 2 words, you know. She said, that's all I know. So yeah. And then I said, okay, well, I'm gonna try to figure this out. I'm gonna try to use the accent, but not speak the language. So I get off the plane, and where am I? I'm in France, right? I said, you know what? I got 2 years of high school speaking in French. Let me speak to these women in my little French accent, but I'm gonna try to use English. So I said, excuse me, madame, where is the restroom? She said, the toilet is that way. I said, you speak English? She said, no, 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 I don't speak. She said, no, 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 I don't speak English. No, no. You know? And then my boy leaned over to me. He said, hey, Bernard, you have the accent. They don't. I was like, oh. Like, yeah, you're trying to use their accent and speak to them and not even using words. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. So yeah, if you don't speak the language, don't speak the language. Don't try to use the accent and the dialects with English words to try to speak and communicate. So there are a lot of things, like I said, when you travel, those are the things you don't do. And if you listen to my comedy and, hear what I'm saying, don't do that shit. I'm sorry, that's my first curse word. My bad. I'm trying to keep it squeaky clean because this is Dr. Greg Haughton. Yeah. So the thing about also traveling is you get to meet a lot of celebrities. You hear me? And the cool part about meeting celebrities and you can actually imitate their voices is fantastic. I got a chance to perform with the one and only Cat Williams. Now, when I tell you he's probably one of my favorite celebrities that I ever got a chance to work with, I mean, he's one of my favorite celebrities. Before I even got on, you know, I said, man, how you doing, Mr. Williams? He said, now, how you doing? Who are you? I said, oh, my name is Benard Williams. I go on right before you in alphabetical order. He said, okay, Cat Williams, Benard. Okay, I got it. And I was real hyped up about it. Even though I'm an Olympic gold medalist, I'm like, oh, snap, I get to perform in front of Cat Williams. So he had his own show at the Hollywood Casino. I said, let me go on and this Cat Williams show. I asked him, I said, hey, man, can I come to your show after I perform? He said, yes, you can come to my show. Yes, you can come to my show. You can come on. So once I got to his show at the Hollywood Casino, I'm like, I hope he remembers who I am so I can perform. So he come up to me and said, now, who are you? I said, my name Benard Williams. I opened up for you at the Improv. You told me to come here so I can do some time. He said, yes, I remember that. Yes, you are on. Now, who are you? Like, that's how he ran his room. Like, he literally runs his room like a pimp. Like, and then he asked me, are you funny? I said, yeah, I'm funny. All right, you're on. Now, who are you? He goes around the whole room, asks, are you funny? If you're not confident and you don't think you're funny, he's not going to put you up. And that's how Cat Williams rolled. But that was one of my favorite comedians to like perform in front of. I got a chance to meet Steve Harvey. I thought he was pretty cool. Um, but his mustache was just getting on my nerves. I don't know. I'm gonna get one of these old school mustaches because he getting old. He dyed his mustache. His mustache gray. This how his mustache look. He was like, survey said, let me tell your ass something. Tell your ass right now. I'm one of the kings of comedy, goddammit. Your ass. Now let me tell your ass something. I'm Steve Harvey. Okay. And I don't take nothing from nobody. Okay. That was his whole aura. So I really didn't get a chance to talk to him because I ain't want to be a lot. But I like watching the Family Feud. But yeah, you get to meet all kinds of celebrities. Got a chance to meet Shaq at the Olympics. Remember, these guys are my teammates. Shaq, Kobe, you know. I was like, hey man, you guys are great. Can I get a picture? Yeah, you can get a picture, anytime you want. As long as you working hard and do what you gotta do, we all teammates, so you can get a picture anytime you want. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Yeah, man. So yeah, I have an amazing life. I got a chance to meet a lot of good people and travel a lot of places. And so, yeah. In fact, I have my own comedy shows. You make sure you come to my comedy show. If you are in the Baltimore, Maryland area, I said it, area. You make sure you come to my child support release party. That's right. It's my child support release / birthday bash. And this is January 20th. That's right. January 20th, 2022. Fastest Man in Comedy is having a child support release birthday bash. What that means is I'm celebrating 44 years of this life on this earth, and I'm celebrating finishing 18 years of paying child support. So if you can, make sure you come out. This is my logo. This is my brand. Benard Williams Pro Techniques. I am also a sports performance coach. I've groomed and developed NFL players, NCAA champions, and more important, some positive people in the world, and passed a lot of knowledge too. So, if you get a chance, make sure you go onto my website, bwprotechniques.com. bwprotechniques.com. That stands for Benard Williams Protechniques.com. I'm also on Instagram. Make sure you follow me. BW Pro Techniques on Instagram. Also, SIYLENT, B Willer. Stay in your lane. That's my other account where it's nothing but comedy. So if you want some comedy, but also some athleticism and some coaching, some training, make sure that you are going to Instagram, BW Pro Techniques, or SIYLENT B Willer. And yeah, I'll be performing. I'm also in Hanover, Pennsylvania, January 22nd. So that's 2 days after my child support release party. If you're in Hanover, PA, make sure you come through. I'm also having speed clinics in Kentucky. I'll put more information up on the web about that speed clinic in Kentucky, and that is going to be in January 10th. So I'll be working, and yeah, stay in your lane is here. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Greg Haughton, and thank you so much for the interview and allowing me to showcase my talents as well. I hope everybody out there have a nice Christmas. And I had 2 Christmases. I had one at one house and one at the other house. And what I mean is, in one house, my mama kept it real. Instead of telling me Santa Claus was coming, she said, "Look, what you want? I'm gonna buy it." And my mama just went and bought it. Now, at my grandmother's house, my father's house, they would tell me that Santa Claus is coming and we need to bake a cake so Santa Claus can eat it, even though they eating all the cake. And I had to, go to sleep and wake up to a whole bunch of presents. While my grandmama was lying to me so I could have the Christmas spirit, I was lying to her, acting like I didn't look for those gifts and saw those gifts under the bed when she was hiding them from me before Christmas. Yeah, so I got a chance to get, both Christmas. I had 2 types of Christmas. One where my mama kept it real, the other one where my grandmama kept the spirit going. So don't feel bad about yourself if you're lying to your kids and your kids still find it. Just guess what? They lying back at you. We'd open the present, we'd be like, "Oh my God, this is what I always wanted." And we knew, we saw it. We saw it upstairs when you was hiding it. We searched the whole damn house for them damn presents. Every kid has done it. So don't feel bad for lying to your kids because they want to keep parents want to keep the Christmas spirit. But yeah, thanks for having me, Dr. Haughton. I'm gonna really go this time. I could talk all night, but I'm gonna really go this time. Yeah, but love, peace, and I hope everybody live well, and I hope y'all can learn some things. People who have watched the interview and the show with Dr. Greg Haughton, I hope y'all learn some things and and take it for yourself and have fun. But I'm here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Benard. We're going to have you back. We're just going to work out the details, but we'll definitely have you back and we'll go through some more hardcore interview. Thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoy the holiday, my brother. May God
Yes.
continue to bless and keep you and your family safe. Thank you for taking the invitation, and thank you for performing.
Yes, same to you, my brother. Thank you.
All right.
Peace.